Hey everybody, Massachusetts Prepper here. Today we're looking at the Laundreez, the Clever Travel Companion. Now what this is I call it a wilderness wash machine, or a backpacking wash machine, whatever you want to call it. You can check them out at Laundreez.com. And this is a pretty interesting little item. Now, it has this nice little storage case, which you pretty much can do away with, I think. It does come with full instructions on how to utilize the Laundreez and all that good stuff. And with just a simple twist of the cap, you pop it out of its carrying case here. And this could be discarded actually, and there is a worldwide patent pending according to this, and it is produced by Chapel Solutions Limited, but it is made in China. Okay, so what you get, let's just roll right in with this. You get a pretty rugged cap here with a lanyard that holds that on, holds it in place. Seems to have a real nice fit. You get a mesh bag. Now this mesh bag, okay, yeah, if you load it up to this white line that's going across the bag right here, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but you can clearly see it in person. That is one load of Laundreez laundry. This can also be used for your toiletries, your wet laundry that you're taking to dry, or taking it to the spot where you're going to hang it up and let it dry. A nice little mesh bag feels, pretty good construction, so it should hold up pretty good. The Laundreez bag itself is made of very durable plastic, but this is heavy duty. Now what I found was that the Laundreez did leak. Okay everybody, well, I've got some water in the sink here, and as you can see I've got a paper towel in the Laundreez. They recommend that you fold this over. If you're using it as a dry bag, you fold it over 4 times, which is what I did. And now I'm going to submerge this in the sink, and hopefully I got something here that'll hold it down. So if it's going to leak, it's going to be on that end where the valve is to add water and to let water out. And I'm going to let this go for about 30 minutes to see if we get any water inside. I'm not going to keep y'all here for the 30 minutes, but I'll bring y'all back. Okay everybody, well, we're back. We're at 26 minutes and 40 some odd seconds, so we're going to call that good enough in the submerge test. And we're going to go ahead and pull this out and see if we had any leaks. Okay, now, like I said, I use that liquid just from first inspections. I am seeing some wetness on the paper towels. There is water inside the bag, and my paper towels, as you can see, are wet. Because the cap does seem to be seated really good, but I did get some water in from somewhere. Okay, so I think as just a dry bag that's not going to be submerged. And as you can see, this thing is deep. I mean, you can see how far I've got my arm in here. This is very deep. So this is, I mean, it's a good sized dry bag. or a good sized laundry bag. But I think in everyday situation where your stuff is not going to be submerged, this would probably be a perfect dry bag. Just for whatever reason, while it was submerged for 30 minutes, it didn't leak that much. So I think overall the bag did a good job at keeping things dry. When I did a submerged test, now they state that it is waterproof, and I submerged it. It did get water in. It was leaking even with the 4 folds of the bag here. It still leaked, and I didn't count the first fold when I folded this part under. Okay. I didn't count that as 1 fold, but I did go then 4 folds, and it did leak water. So as being waterproof at this point, I would have to say no. Do I think it would work as a dry bag and keep your stuff dry in most situations? That I do. I think it would keep everything dry in, most situations. It cleaned my laundry very well. As you've seen, I got some mud on my shirt while I was outside, wiped my hands on my shirt, all that good stuff, and I let it dry in for a little while before I ever started doing the video on the washing. I wanted to give it a fair test. Well, got most of the dirt off my hands, but now it's all over my damn shirt. What am I going to do now? Like I said, this t-shirt does have, a pretty good dirt stain right in there on that arm. You can see just off the arm right there. That's all dirt where I wiped my hands on this. I am going to wash this shirt up. Now I'm going to use a little bit of warm water, because if I was in the field, I would probably use a little bit of warm water. And I think that will probably be enough. The shirt is covered. Now, in the field I would carry probably a small amount of liquid detergent or powdered detergent. I'm going to use some liquid detergent because that's what I've got. And since this is just one shirt, I'm just going to put a little bit in there because I do not want to have so much suds that I can't rinse this afterwards using the same bag. Now, I would recommend that anybody that's going to be out hiking or camping, there's a lot of different options that you can have for biodegradable or eco-friendly laundry detergents and stuff, and I would recommend that you utilize those. Now, I did take this down 4 times just to make sure everything's good, and there's a full instruction sheet that comes with this that tells you how to utilize this. As you can see, there's quite a bit of air in there right now, so I've got a lot of room to move around. Here's the best part, guys. Flash giveaway. From the time this video is posted, there's going to be 24 hours. Everybody that says they want a Laundreez Wilderness washing machine will be in the drawing for this Laundreez The Clever Travel Companion. I am renaming it the Laundreez Wilderness washing machine for this video. 24 hours. Here we go. Okay. So anyway, they say place one hand underneath the bottom of the Laundreez and the other hand on the top and shake to simulate the action of a wash machine. Now, I don't see any water coming out through this spout or up around the handle area. And there is a handle right here on the bottom. I'm going to tip this upside down. I do see water leaking right here. And so I'm assuming that's probably where the water got in this dry bag, because I did have that underwater, or under this Laundreez wash machine. Now, as y'all seen, I didn't put a whole lot of detergent in there, and I've still got some good suds. But they say, you know, shake it up, then let it sit for a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit, and then I'm going to let some of the air out of this bag so I can knead the laundry and kind of scrub it a little bit. While this is sitting, I'm going to let it sit for like 10 minutes, and I'm going to bring y'all right back. Okay, everybody, well, it's been about 10 minutes, and now what I'm going to do is crack the cap on here, and I didn't get any leakage around the cap. I think all my leakage came from around the handle of the dry bag, and I can see probably where that came in at. I'm going to try something real quick, because I think it could be me that caused the problem and not necessarily the dry bag. If I turn this way and connect it, I want to see if it still leaks around the handle. And it does. Okay, so it's not a good seal around the handle, around the top of the dry bag. Water's still getting through there. So I would say, as a submersible dry bag, not very good. Around the valve itself, I don't see any leaking around the valve itself. Okay, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch this back around the other way so I can get to this valve easier. I'm going to let some of the air out of here. And now I'm just going to kind of work this shirt. I want to give this thing every opportunity to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, and this is what the manufacturer suggests how you do it. Okay, just like this. Letting some of the air out and working the shirt. You can even scrub it to try to get really stubborn stains out. Then with the valve, it's a real easy open and drain off your dirty water, which is very handy. And of course, you can squeeze and get a lot of that excess water out of there, and then simply add more water for the rinse cycle through the opening. I will say the plastic is very heavy duty. It doesn't actually give me a spec on what the mill spec is on this, but it is heavy plastic, and I'll see if the camera will pick this up when I open this back up. Personally, first impressions, I think that this will do very well in a camping or survival situation. Just works good. But what I will say is, once you refill this, you probably need to open this back up so it gets a good amount of air in there, so things can really move around. And then do the fold down again. Now I took this one extra fold this time to see if I can, well, actually, you know, they say 4 folds. 4 folds. So I'm going to call that 1, 2, 3, and 4, right where I had it, pretty much. And then that puts my snaps wanting to go this way, so I'm going to go that way with them. And now we're going to rinse. Now, while I'm in the rinse mode, I'm going to see again if I got a better seal on these. Nope. We still got water leaking. Okay, so the top of the bag does not seal real well. For your average situation where you got something in your pack and you want to keep it dry, I think this is going to be a fantastic thing. It's just submerging it. It's not going to keep your stuff dry, and you know, if you tip it upside down, there is some leakage. Okay, but now we've rinsed this shirt. So we're going to go ahead and drain everything off. And now they do say that you can use this as a wringer as well. So let's pop this open. I'm going to grab the shirt, let it hang out like this, and we're just going to squeeze everything out. Okay, let's go ahead. Smells nice and fresh. Go ahead and get the shirt out of here and go ahead and wring the rest of the water out of it. And at this point, I'd be all ready for the clothesline. Right in here, this whole side was filthy, and I did let this set the whole time I was you know, doing the submerge test, but it definitely got it clean. So not only did I let it set before doing the submerge test, during the submerge test, and as you can see, all that dirt is gone. So it did get it clean. So I think this is and it smells fresh from the laundry detergent. I think this Laundreez, I'm going to call it a Laundreez Wilderness wash machine, would work very well in any practical camping, outing, you know, backpacking type scenario, because it did do what it was supposed to do as far as cleaning the laundry. Except the only malfunction is water leaks through the top of the bag, even with the 4 folds. I had a leak. I thought it was coming from the valve here, but it did not. I wanted to make sure that this thing was going to work. What I found was that it did work very well. At first I thought it was leaking around the seal here, but it did not. And you'll see in the video, or you have already seen in the video of me doing the actual testing, that the leakage was actually coming in from the top where you fold it down. I think it's because the plastic is so thick and heavy duty that it lets the water seep in there even with all those folds. Do I think it will work as a dry bag just for putting some stuff in, throw it in your pack, your more valuable items that you don't want to really get wet, and just incidental water hitting it, or your bag being dropped in the river for a second and you're grabbing it back out? I think this would keep it dry for sure. Submerging something for 30 minutes, it did leak. And as you'll notice, or I have already noticed, the paper towel just had a slight arc of wetness. So after 30 minutes of being submerged in the sink, it didn't completely saturate everything, but it did get water in there and did leak. As far as a wash machine, it worked fantastic. And you know, just some pun intended here, the treble the clever travel companion. I think Laundreez should rename this to Laundreez Wilderness Wash Machine. Because I think this would be an excellent item for anyone that's doing, you know, like for someone doing the Appalachian Trail or a long extended hike anywhere in the world. I think this would be a very nice item. As long as you have access to water and some kind of biodegradable detergent that's environment friendly, I think this thing would be a fantastic item to have. I'm just going to read you what the manufacturer says here. It is a versatile bag. Instructions are included for using the Laundreez to wash, rinse, and squeeze dry clothes. It can also be used as a dry bag, keeping valuables safe near water. A packing bag for holding damp items and toiletry bag. A compression bag, a water carrier, or even a cooler bag. Freeze a quart of water in the bag overnight or add ice. The mesh bag filled to the white line holds one load of clothes for the Laundreez wash. A mesh bag can also be used to scrub stains before washing items in the Laundreez and then thrown in the Laundreez to wash. It says keeping valuables safe near water. It doesn't say that this is, you know, waterproof in the actual instructions. Although down here on their actual packaging, soak delicate clothes both at home and on the go in a waterproof container, freeing up sink space. It's not waterproof. Water resistant, I will agree to. I think that if, you know, this thing is submerged for a period of time, like you saw, I had it submerged for almost 30 minutes and it did leak. Could it have been my application, the way that I did it? Absolutely, it could have been. But from my experience, it did leak. So I'm not going to say it's waterproof. I will say it's very water resistant and that it will probably keep most of your items dry. Other than that, I think this is a fantastic item. I will definitely be using the one that I have in my bug out bag. I will even think about purchasing a few more of these for every member of the family. Will you survive whatever comes your way? If you have a Laundreez Wilderness Wash Machine, you just might. This is Massachusetts Prepper saying, take care all.